All right, so picking up where I left off from episode 5, this is episode 6. And what I had been doing in episode 5 was running my test this way instead of using my trusty ncrunch dots. You can see I'm going green there. It's probably pretty hard to see. I guess I could also run the test explorer like that to make it easier. I don't know. But what I wanted to do was start to rework this profile searcher implementation. And what I've done here is I've created this new constructor and I've got all the methods using it, but I was kind of getting pretty long on time last time. So I decided to wrap up with a green test, even though it wasn't doing what I wanted. So now what I need to do is figure out how to create a failing test here to get this behaving the way I want. So let me see if I can think through the problem here. I'm passing in this mock, but I'm not doing anything with it, and that's not causing me to fail. So I need to write a test where I depend on the mock. And a way I can think of to do that, let's see. Trying to think of sort of a non-cheap way to do that. One thing I could do is refactor the code that I have going on in here, as long as I'm staying green. Another thing I could do is, let's see. This returns empty enumeration for nonsense. Now, this is interesting. This test method up here is going to need to change anyway. So I'm creating a GUID, which is my nonsense. And I think what I'd like to do is I'm going to do a bit of a refactoring here, and then make sure I'm still green. Man, it's really weird to do this without ncrunch. So I'm going to have an Github Inquisitor. I'll call it private. And I'll just call this Inquisitor. I should have picked an easier to type name, but I don't know. Inquisitor just sounds really cool. So I'm going to make a test setup method, and I'm going to remove so I'm going to set it equal. So I'm just doing a little housekeeping that kind of helps me wrap my brain around, I guess, the problem at hand. So I think this should pass. Keep your eye peeled. Oh, build failed. The name Inquisitor. Oh, yes. You have to bear with me. It's been a while since I've used the mocking framework here. All right, so I'm still passing. That's good. Let's see. Now, this should really blow up because... okay, well, I can start a little bit by, let's see, get profiles for location. So I'm really just testing this method. What I'm going to, no, yeah, okay, well, sorry, I'm finding my way through this. Let's see. Class. One thing you'll notice here is that I tend not to bother naming the classes until I'm naming them in here. And then I'll just rely on CodeRush, which is my productivity tool, to rename the file based on whatever I type. Rather than, it's always kind of awkward to me to figure out what to type in that create class dialog. So get profiles for location is the name of the profile searcher. So I'm going to go with this for now, and I'm going to say that it should throw an exception. Past null dependency. Okay. Now I am going to go out and I once checked this thing into NuGet. Let me see if it's like up there. It'd be cool if it were. Oh gosh, what was it called? Let me see if go into chesttdd here and oops. I wonder if I brought it in here at some point. I don't even remember what it's called. That's sad. It's been a long time since I did this. No, just tell me about installed. Just mock. That's the only one that's installed. Really? Installed. Spec flow. Oh, that's a shame. I could have sworn. Okay, so extended assert. Hey, look at that. It's written by me. And I think it's stable. This basically, if it works, which hopefully it does, just gives me a series of methods, one of which is that I can... So what you do in MS Test is you say something like, what is it, expected, yeah. Now, I don't really like that at all. Oops, is there a comma in there? There is. I don't like that at all for the simple reason that when you're saying I'm expecting an exception to be thrown anywhere here, you're not being deliberate about the actual call that you're expecting to throw the exception. I don't like that. So you'll see what I'm doing here, which is to be very deliberate about what ought to throw an exception. So I'm going to say that new profile searcher. So I'm expecting this to throw an exception, specifically this call right here. Let me see. I'll verify that that's failing. And now, oh, there's a custom thing I put into place. Now, I think there's a new deal in name of Inquisitor. Oh man, that's cool. I should do another video about how much I like that. So, let's go back here. That's still right. I was so proud of my keyboard shortcut that I customized that I actually typed in the wrong keyboard shortcut. So now, if I go back here, I'm expecting that first test method to fail because I need to pass in Inquisitor. Now, this hasn't been wildly productive, but it should get everything back to green. There we go. Okay, now everything's green, and I'm at least doing the right thing with the Inquisitor, but let's see. This method, I'm passing in the Inquisitor, but I'm not setting up what it returns at all. And if I haven't set up what it returns, then this is what's all going to come from the Inquisitor. So result is going to come from the Inquisitor. Oh no, this string is going to come from the Inquisitor. So right now that string will be null, which means that this call should throw an exception. And instead of throwing an exception, it's getting here. So working backwards, I want this to throw an exception. So what I'm saying should... I'm saying, oh, well, there should be no profiles, but that's not actually right. So if I haven't set up the profile searcher, if null comes back from the profile searcher, well, then we should still probably return no profiles. I don't think that's an exceptional case. So this test is okay as is. This test, however, I need to get it to somewhere that it's failing. We're setting it up to return the thing, but then we're not querying it because instead we're doing all this stuff. You know what? What I should do is take advantage of the problems I was having, excuse me, in the, hey, Uncrunch, there we go. I'm going to take advantage of the problems I was having last time around where, I'm green. This is a little unconventional as far as TDD goes, but it might suit my purposes. I'm going to create a profile searcher that I'll call target. Now, this kind of hacked everything to bits here last time. Oh, still okay. Wouldn't that be just my luck? And I'm going to say target profile searcher, and we're going to pass in the inquisitor. Anybody? No takers on red there, huh? Now, let's see what happens if I... Remember, there's nothing wrong here per se. Right now I'm just kind of doing helpful refactorings. Okay, so this is red because problems with GitHub, which means I could fix it by using my mock. I am very pleased with this. That's a little silly, but okay, I don't want to lose this code. So what I'm going to do, this code's eventually going to go in another class. Oh, look at that. Look at how sketchy that is. Now it turns green. I no longer have a failing test. Boy. You know what? I'm going to... Oh, this is... Let's see. I don't actually want this test to be failing for the reason that it's failing. This acceptance test is failing. This I should clean up because I don't actually want to... Oh, you know what? This will dovetail in nicely with what I want to do because here's how we're going to get this test to pass. Oh, I never renamed this. Technically, I'm red, so I shouldn't do this refactoring, but I will totally forget it if I don't, and it is pretty low risk since it's an automated one. And now I'm going to close all documents, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here to Profile Searcher, and I'm going to take all of this, and let's see, can I define an implementer? No, I don't. Implicit. There we go. Get rid of this useless constructor. It's going to be a string, and instead of this, it's going to return. Okay. Move type to file. The name location text. Where did that come from in our... Oh. Maybe? Is that right? Get profiles for location. Yeah, okay. All right, so how do we get this guy to pass and get back to green? Here we go. New GitHub Inquisitor. Hey, there we go. Now, this acceptance test is still going out to GitHub, which makes me a little nervous, but this... Why is nothing executing this? That doesn't make any sense. Is that right? It's a mystery to solve some other time. It really is kind of bizarre. Test not run. Alright, well, everything's passing. So what I'm going to do now is attempt a refactoring here. I am going to declare field with initializer. Yes, that's fine. Could be a little smarter about that. Oh, come on. That's what I wanted. Somebody is not happy with this. What did I just break? Okay. Inserting one line didn't break anything. Let me see if this is breaking. So it doesn't like this. Okay. I'm going to fight through the red here, and what I expect is that the unit test, once I get through doing this, should go green. And I just want to say Inquisitor. Oops. And comment that out for now. So that makes everybody green, including, let's just confirm here since everything's been a little bit shady. So should expect these execution times to go down, and they do. Chicago search is still going to be high because that's going out to GitHub. This one might just be high because I've noticed that whenever you do a MS test run, at least in previous versions of MS test, the first test was pretty long running. So which one was this? Return empty enumeration for nonsense. Oh, you know what? That might be because it's generating a GUID. Because I am a curious person, let's try this again if we're not generating... Oh, wait, no, I'm not generating a GUID. What am I talking about? I already generated it. I'm not going to worry about that for now, but I will come over here and make note of it. Okay, so back to the code. I do not want this in here. So this is, okay, now this class is getting a little more respectable looking. And let's see. There are still some refactorings we can do, but this is probably a good note to end on for this episode. So everything's covered. We get in here in the case where there is a match, and that's because of how we're setting up the Inquisitor. I will do this one more bit of refactoring. Let's see. There we go, use our target. And that was expected, so what? That one I'm not going to do because I like being explicit in the test about what type this is. So I appreciate the suggestion, Visual Studio, but I will pass. So this is all right. Let me go revisit the board here. Not happy. That still needs to be done. Crunch is on. But I still... Crunch with acceptance test that hit GitHub is not awesome. So we've got these unit tests now, and we've split up the concern, so that's cool. Move towards an implementation. Okay. So I might regroup a little next time with the things to be done, but so far so good here. This is nice, because now we've got a mock, and we've extracted out all that HTTP garbage that is now in the GitHub Inquisitor, and I see that my ncrunch dots have finally kicked in, so it's still covered. But this is going to be the beginning, and I don't know that I want the delineation between long-running and short-running tests to strictly be acceptance and unit respectively. I think that you can have short-running acceptance tests. So I've got to sort of conceive of a way here maybe to have the tests that actually go out to GitHub be run maybe only on demand. So I know I still have this coverage. Maybe I can even turn ncrunch on to visualize it, but it's not running all the time. And that may just wind up being the case if I'm not changing this bit of production code. But at least I have a test covering it here so I can refactor if needed. Might be worth pulling some of these things out into constants. So I'm going to say, just before I forget, let's clean up. And what else? Profile searcher. Okay. So now, yeah, we actually need to start building up this concept of profile. And especially we're going to need to take a look at, there we go. All right, so now that's probably a good place to leave off. So let me, here's my code here. I am going to commit. What did I actually do? Separated querying logic from profile construction logic. Yes. Sync. Push it on up to GitHub. Make me proud. All right. So that's it. I will. We'll see you next time.